Driving Business. All right, now into the news hour. Just a quick reminder, if you're just joining in, we are live from the Kampala Sheraton Hotel. Stanbic Bank and Casita are said to launch a partnership that is stronger together. And live from the Sheraton Hotel, we head into the news hour. But later on, we shall be giving you all the details of this particular launch right on the comfort of your seat. Now, and to that, let's kickstart off with the news hour as MTN Uganda Chief Executive Officer Wim Vanalapute confirmed during a press briefing that MTN Mobile Money Company is 100% included in the listed company as a shareholder of MTN, saying one will get the fully economic benefit of the MTN Mobile Money services. And according to the MTN prospectus, which will guide the share sale process, mobile money is the second most important source of the revenues of the company, accounting for a quarter of total earnings after Voice, which brings in half of the company's revenues, was put onto test. Now, Pedison Mombere has more of that report.
The opening of the sale of shares of MTN Uganda to the public has caused a stir among Ugandans, especially on the possible risks and what some have assumed as exclusion of the mobile money business from the deal. Ugandans appear to be more concerned about the mobile money aspect of the business for a few main reasons: handling trillions of shillings in cash and therefore seemingly a profitable venture, as well as the recent creation of a separate entity for the business. As a requirement by the market regulator and as a global standard practice, any company that intends to go public has to tell the public where its strengths are and what it thinks it may be its weaknesses or risks to its business. This is based on the fact that the global practices and national rules and regulations require the company to give as much information as possible to the public so that whoever is deciding to invest makes an informed decision. MTN Uganda Chief Executive Officer Wim Vanhelputte therefore confirmed during a press briefing that MTN Mobile Money Company is 100% included on the list company as a shareholder of MTN, saying one will get a full economic benefit of the MTN Mobile Money business.
Very important for the investors. Now I'm talking to my potential investors, not just my customers. To potential investors is to understand that the mobile money company is an entire part of the listed company that we bring into the stock exchange. Okay, so investing in MTN Uganda also means that you're still investing in the mobile money company, and you still will benefit also from the economic, uplift of the mobile money activity within MTN Uganda. Okay. We have seen it in the past. In 2019, the UCC, the Ministry of ICT, also issued a new broadband policy in 2018 and then new regulations in 2019. It is a good thing because regulations sometimes have tendency to be behind the curve. So it was a very good thing that the new regulations came into force in 2019 when it comes to telecom, and also these new regulations coming into force last year when it comes to mobile money. It creates a lot of transparency, visibility, and that's what investors want. They want to have visibility on how the regulatory framework is shaping, and we are very, thankful to Bank of Uganda that those new regulations are clear, and they have allowed us now to operate in a new framework that creates the necessary visibility for us and for other investors when it comes to running the mobile money activity.
In policy, that Ugandan individuals will be given first priority, followed by Ugandan professional investors, before we go to East African individuals, and then East African professional investors, and then on to the foreign companies. I hope that clarifies.
According to the MTN prospectus, which will guide the share sale processes, mobile money is the second most important source of revenues for the company, accounting for a quarter of the total earnings after voice, which brings half of the company's revenues.
All right, now the opening of the sales of shares by MTN Uganda to the public caused a very huge stir among Ugandans, most probably because some of them were actually saying it may not be what they expect out of it, while the others were quite excited of the fact that they're going to become shareholders in one of the biggest companies across the country, not only in the land, but also across Africa, and also put it onto the global market. Now, the Ugandans appear to be more concerned about the mobile money aspect of the business for two main reasons. One is handling trillions of shillings in cash, and therefore seemingly a profitable venture if you are trying to purchase a share from a very big company as well. And if you look at two is as well as the recent creation of a separate entity for the business as a requirement by the market regulator and as a global standard practice, and the company itself, and of what impact can it lay on board for all the Ugandans as well. Now, it's a requirement by the market regulator and as a global standard practice that any company that intends to go public has to tell the public where its strength is and what it thinks may be the weakness or the risks to its businesses. Now, when you look at the launch of the IPO and of what importance it was to the Ugandans out there, and most probably, if I'm to put it in a situation where you can actually get yourself a share with as low as 200 Ugandan shillings, and you cease to be just a subscriber if you purchase shares worth 100,000 Ugandan shillings, which is 500 shares, and then you become a shareholder with MTN Uganda. Now, this is based on the fact that the global practices and the national rules and regulations requires the company to give as much information as possible to the public, so that whoever is deciding to invest makes an informed decision. And MTN Uganda's chief executive officer, that is Wim Vanelloputain, confirmed during a press briefing that 100% MTN Mobile Money is 100% listed onto the initial public offer. And according to the MTN prospectus, which will guide the share sale process, Mobile Money is the second most important source of revenues for the company, and accounting for a quarter of total earnings, after which brings it to a half of the company's revenue. If you look at according to the current standings in MTN Uganda, Charles Mbire, businessman Charles Mbire, has 4% of the shares out of the 96 that is owned by MTN Group, a South African best telecommunication company. MTN Group, now MTN Uganda, which has been in Uganda for almost 23 years now, and also extended its working contract to 2031. That is more 12 years into business. And Ugandans appear to be more concerned about the mobile money aspect of the business for two main reasons. One is handling trillions of shillings in cash, and therefore seemingly a profitable venture if you could look at it on paper, as well as the recent creation of separate entity for the business. Now, the national entity for the National Payment Systems Act of 2020 that took effect this year compels telecom companies that offer money transfer businesses to separate the firm from the rest of the businesses by creating a separate entity, and that is where Stanbic Bank comes in. All right, now let's move on to the next story as Kasese district unveils 5-year development plans. Now, the Kasese district has launched a 5-year plan, was developed by the members of the parliament and the leaders in the district. Now, according to the plan, the kingdom will focus on 17 pillars, which will include operationalizing the railway systems, as well as upgrading of Kasese airstrip, revamping of Chilembe mines, factories, among others. Here are the details.
District has launched a 5-year district development plan. The plan was developed by members of parliament and leaders in the district level. Harrington Muhindo, the chairperson, Kasese Parliamentary Group, noted that the plan intends to promote strategies that will increase productivity and improve livelihoods. According to the plan, the kingdom will focus on 17 pillars, which include operationalizing the railway systems, upgrading of Kasese airstrip, revamping of Kilembe mines factory, agriculture, land management and sustainability, and tourism. Muhindo said that the area member of parliaments are committed to ensure the plan is implemented irrespective of their political affiliation. The LC5 chairperson, Kasese Eliphaz Muhindo, said that the implementation of the plan requires consolidated efforts from all leaders in the district level. However, some leaders noted that the plan should also focus on boosting the local agriculture production chain, boosting tourism and releasing Rwenzururu. King Charles Wesley Mumbere.
All right, now Kasese District launched a 5-year district development plan, and the plan was developed by members of parliament and leaders in Kasese District as well. And Harold Tony Muhindo, who is the chairman Kasese parliamentary group, noted that the plan intends to promote strategies that will increase productivity and improve livelihoods. And according to the plan, the kingdom will focus on 17 pillars, which include operationalizing the railway systems, upgrading of Kasese airstrip, revamping of the Chilembe mines, factory, agriculture and management and sustainability, as well as tourism in the district of Kasese. Now, the LC5 chairperson, Kasese Elifazi Muhindo, also says that the implementation of the same plan requires consolidated efforts from all leaders in the district of Kasese to see that this actually comes to pass as well. And however, some leaders noted that the plan should also focus on boosting local agriculture production chain, boosting tourism and releasing Rwenzururu. King Charles Wesley Mumbere in the same aspect. Now, if you look at this situation here, as we live from Sheraton Kampala Hotel, you may wonder where did we put the studios this time round. Kick-starting off with the second hour in style, big fashion. We're live from the Sheraton Hotel Kampala. Now we're looking at the situation where Kasese District launched a 5-year district development plan. Now this looks at boosting the tourism. We all know how rich the district of Kasese is. If you look at the tourism sector, look at the natural resources in the district as well, and with the LC5, who is of Kasese District, according to the plan, the kingdom, that is the kingdom of the Mumbere, of Rwenzururu, will focus on 17 pillars, which include operationalizing the railway systems, as well as upgrading Kasese airstrip and revamping of Chilembe Mines factory, among the others. Okay, now let's move on to the next one, as KCCA councillors call for audit of private garbage collectors. Now, the Kampala City Council Authority councillors have called for a special audit into the operations of farm contracted to collect garbage. Now, during the meeting at the City Hall, committee members did accuse the companies of substandard. The companies were also accused of levying different garbage collection fees in similar areas. Now, more of the details, the Kampala City Council Authority councillors are calling for an audit into the operations of farms contracted to collect the garbage, and the decision was taken during a meeting between the KCCA Standing Committee of Public Health and the 3 companies, which include Home Clean Company Limited, the Nabugabo Abdil, and the Kampala Solid Waste Management, as well as commonly known as the Kasasiro. So if you look into that. Now, during the meeting held at the City Hall, the committee members accused the companies of substandard work, saying it is not up to the standards of an international city. And if you look at the situation that is actually happening, the companies were also accused of levying different garbage collection fees in similar areas in Kampala. Now, according to the contracts, the companies are required to levy a monthly charge of 30,000 Ugandan shillings for premium services alone, and 3 bags per week, as well as 3,000 per month to bring 2 truck services. And the committee chairperson, Kampala Central 1 councillor Francis Mbazira, told the companies that shall be subjected to an audit to assess their capacity and regarding the number of trucks, their tonnage and their conditions compared to the amount of work that is actually put on board to play. Now, the committee wants KCCA to also start issuing a certificate of competence to the companies before extending their contracts, as KCCA first issued contracts to the 3 companies for 4 years in 2016 before an extension was granted in 2019, despite disagreements from some political leaders and rival private collectors who actually accused the authority of monopolizing the collection of garbage in the city areas. Now, in 2019, when the cabinet did resolve the extended contract of the companies, the city lawyer, the current Lord Mayor of Kampala, Arius Lukwago, was up in arms challenging the decisions, which he said was informed by an audit, and he accused the companies of delivering substandard work. All right, now Smart Means Business is live from the Kampala Sheraton Hotel, and we're bringing you all the details in regards to the Stanbic and Casita partnership launch that is going to be aired here. But now let's cross over to the international scene to check out how about the international scene, which news is making headlines in regards to the business stories. And kickstarting it off from the International Monetary Fund has projected that the global economy would grow by 5.9% in 2021, down by 0.1% points from July's forecast. Now, this is according to the latest World Economic Outlook. More of the details.
The International Monetary Fund on Tuesday projected that global economy would grow by 5.9% in 2021, down by 0.1 percentage points from July's forecast, according to the latest World Economic Outlook. The global recovery continues, but momentum has weakened, hobbled by the pandemic. IMF chief economist Gopinath told a virtual press briefing during the annual meetings of the IMF and the World Bank Group, fueled by the highly transmissible Delta variant, the recorded global COVID-19 death toll has risen close to 5 million and health risks abound, holding back a full return to normalcy, Gopinath noted. The IMF chief economist said that, noting that will risk the economic prospects has increased and policy trade-offs have become more complex, saying the modest headline revision for the global economy masks large downgrades for some countries. The outlook for the low-income developing country group has darkened considerably due to worsening pandemic dynamics, she said. Distressing the dangerous divergence in economic prospects across countries remains a major concern. Gopinath said these divergences are a consequence of the great vaccine divide and large disparities in policy support.
The International Monetary Fund on Tuesday projected that the global economy would grow by 5.9% in 2021, down by 0.1 percentage points from July's forecast. That is according to the latest World Economic Outlook done by the International Monetary Fund, the IMF. And the global recovery continues, but the momentum was weakened and hobbled by the pandemic. That is according to the IMF chief, as the economist Gita Gopinath told the virtual press briefing during the annual meetings of the IMF and that of the World Bank. Now, fueled by the highly transmissible Delta variant, recorded global COVID-19 death toll has risen close to 5 million global-wise. If you look at the international level and in regards to the health awareness and the health risks abound, holding back a full return of normalcy. That is according to Gopinath noted, because COVID-19 and the second variant actually brought a very big challenge in terms of the different economies, brought to a standstill a number of sectors. Let's say the tourism sectors, well, many of them were put to an halt. And the IMF chief economist said that, noting that this risk that the economic prospects has increased and policy trade-offs have become more complex, saying that the modest headline revision for the global economy masks large downgrades for some of the countries. Now, if you look at the outlook for the low-income developing country group has darkened considerably due to worsening pandemic dynamics, as she furthermore said, now stressing that the dangerous divergence in the economic prospects across countries remains a very big issue and a major concern ahead of the financial year 2022-2023. Now, meanwhile, Gopinath said these divergences and other consequences of the great vaccine divide and large disparities in policy support. All right. Now let's check out what is making headlines in regards to other sectors of the business. Now, Africa is set to benefit from the World Bank's $150 billion 5-year additional Africa investment. Now, that is coming in from the president of the World Bank, David Malpass, stated that the global lenders intend to invest in the development of Africa in the next 5 years during the just concluded summit of financing African economies, which held in Paris in France. And now Nigeria and other 54 countries would benefit from the World Bank's additional $150 million investment plan in Africa over the next 5 years. Now, President of the World Bank, David Malpass, stated that the global lenders intend to invest in the development of Africa in the next 5 years during the just concluded summit on financing African economies, which was held in Paris in France. Now, President Muhammadu Buhari of Nigeria was in attendance attendance at the summit, which was hosted by President Emmanuel Macron of France. Several African heads of state in the government were in attendance at the summit, with the International Monetary Fund, its IMF presence, co-sponsors at the meeting. And if you look at the situation according to Malpass, the World Bank is addition $150 billion ahead of the investment would support development in Africa for the next 5 years or so, and a continent of 1.3 billion people with a combined GDP, gross domestic product, of $3 trillion combined. But the continent has been severely strained by the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, which has left in disparities and critical divides: healthcare divide, physical divide, gender divide, job and labor divide. Prior to the onset of the virus, as Africa imported 70% to 80% of pharmaceuticals, which has been further worsened, by the pandemic. From the first wave to the second wave, now we have the third variant actually coming through. Now, if you look at the continent witnessing its first recession in a half a century, as its economy, continent and worldwide, contracted by 2.1% in 2020, which many have tagged year of the pandemic. Now, if you look at the situation development